Yeah, well, you brought it up. Really proud of KJ and Will Shipley for using their platform in such a really awesome way, and just great example to the rest of the guys on this team. So really, really proud of them for, again, making a difference and really just leaving more than just football stats here. They're giving back. They're leaving a legacy off the field as well. And then, as far as this game, always great to walk in and have a Tuesday press conference this time of year, because that means we're still playing and everybody else is on the road. Well, actually, it's a dead period now. They changed that, so everybody's at home, because nobody knows who they're playing or anything like that from a bowl standpoint. But we're still at it, and so again, that's a good thing. Obviously, disappointed with our regular season finish. But I'm really proud of our team and our staff for winning the division, the last ever Atlantic division. And at least, who knows, maybe it'll change again 20 years from now, but at least where we are today. And getting back to Charlotte, something that, to be able to get back there for the 7th time in the past 8 years it's special. It's really special, to have that type of consistency. Especially, the fact that we hadn't done it in 20 years, prior to 2011. So proud of these guys. It's not easy to do. They've earned it. And, also congratulations to North Carolina and Coach Brown. I mean, they've earned it as well. Both teams have earned the opportunity to go compete for the overall ACC title, and that's something that we all strive for. And for us, we've got 2 goals left. And, we're not going to hit all 5 of our goals this year, but if we hit 4 out of 5, we're going to have a great year for sure. So we got opportunity there. And, again, great opportunity this week against a good football team. This is a team that has struggled early defensively and has gotten better as the year has gone along. They have really improved as a unit defensively and kind of figuring their personnel out. Had a lot of injuries and some key players that were out. So, again, some guys had to kind of step up, and I think they've gotten better as the year has gone on. You got some active guys. 25 is a really good edge player. 8 is very active inside. Good linebackers. I think 33 is a guy that really jumps out at you. Both safeties, very good players, and, some of the best corners that we've seen. Now, I know they've had a couple of guys injured. Don't really know what the status there is, but it's a defense, again, that really struggled early, but it's really improved. And then offensively, they're the best we've seen. I mean, by far. They really, really are very good, and they're consistent. Quarterback is a great football player. He's a guy that probably leading for the Heisman going into the Georgia Tech game, and he that's probably his worst game. He just missed a few plays that he doesn't miss many, and he just missed some plays in that game. He's a very good player. That's why we recruited him. He's a winner. He's very accurate. He puts the ball where the guys have a chance to make a play. And just really impressive. Good backs, 21 and 28 are very good players. Took the opening snap against Georgia Tech to the house. 21 did, but the thing about Drake is he's got 35 touchdowns and 5 picks, so he takes care of the ball, but he's also the leading rusher on the team. So he's a very productive runner. They're not afraid to run him at all. He gets run a lot of yards on scrambles, but a lot of design runs too, especially quarterback draw. Good tempo team, a lot of shifts and motions. Pretty much an RPO built into everything they do, from a run game standpoint. Do a lot of the similar things that we do from the run game standpoint, with a lot of motions and counters and the zone game as well. But a lot of RPO stuff, and then they got the best player we've seen, and that's number 11. I mean, he is a great football player. He will have his name called early. He's special. I mean, he's a I don't know if was he a junior or senior. I'm not sure what he is. What is he? He's a junior, so he's really good. If he can catch everything, He's quick as a cat. He's got great football savvy, and they get him the ball, every which way. They'll use him in a lot of different ways. So you better know where he is, and it's not just him. 3's a very good player, 5's a very good player. They're tight ends. They got 3 tight ends that they kind of roll in there. Do a good job with the run game. Again, the RPOs and screens off of it, but a lot of shots downfield off the run game. And, really, really good group across the board and the way a championship game ought to be. So it's going to be a great week. Looks like it's going to be a good night up in Charlotte Saturday night. And excited about getting back on the field this week with these guys and seeing if we can get back on track this week and bring that trophy home. Any questions?
Dabo, given the fact that 2 weeks ago Georgia Tech beat North Carolina with a third-string quarterback, and NC State did it with a fourth-string quarterback, have you given consideration maybe running Hunter Johnson or Hunter Helms up there?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you never know. Anything's possible. They played Georgia Tech. I think played 3 quarterbacks in that game. I mean, they just kept rolling them. They just kept, and they got down early. But they battled back and just, made a few plays. And again, North Carolina just was a little off. They just missed a few plays that were there, but just a little off in that game. And then that's, all of a sudden guys get a little momentum. They found the run game. They really leaned on the run game, kind of took the air out of the ball and shortened the game a little bit. And, just a bunch of, again, player-specific type plays that they had in, especially with the quarterbacks in the game. But that was a crazy game for sure.
Dabo, everybody's disappointed this Saturday, but have you seen what you wanted out of your guys these couple of days returning to work?
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't. They're off on Sunday, so I saw a few of them that were over here, and yesterday was a tough day. First day kind of getting back with them, and it's just part of it. Mental Monday, right? You gotta reset, and you gotta own it and learn from it, and get everybody on the same page, and then you go back to work. That's what you do. So whether you come off a big win or a really disappointing loss, and tough day on top. And it's always tough when you lose, but it's not acceptable for us. It's never going to be acceptable for us to lose that game. You got to deal with it, but it's not acceptable. And it's been 9 years since we've had a meeting like that after that game. So nobody in this room has ever lost that game. So it's a tough day, but everybody responded the way you needed to, and go back to work. And went back, had a good practice last night, and on to the next one. And, you better refocus quick because you turn on the tape and you start getting ready for the next opponent. And this is a really good team. This is a really good team. And, again, it's 2 best teams in the league. We both earned the opportunity to be in this game. And there'll be one champion on Saturday night. And this is every time you play this time of year, they're handing out a trophy, right? So, we gotta pick ourselves up and get back to work.
You had a bunch of guys who were there in 2019, 2020, those seasons. Does that experience help you guys over? We've had a lot of guys that beat South Carolina too. Didn't matter Saturday. It's all about these 4 quarters. You got to play the game, and you got to earn it on the field. It's certainly. If I had my rathers, I love having guys that have that visual, have that mindset of being in games like that. But you got to go earn it. It's all about these 4 quarters and playing well. It doesn't matter what's happened. It doesn't matter. You get to this point, both teams have gotten there, and, doesn't matter how you got there. Now you got to go play a great game and win the championship.
Obviously, the passing game was work in progress entering the season with y'all trying to generate confidence after last year. All things considered, overall, how does the production meet the expectations you had coming into the year?
Yeah, well, we got better, especially if you look through the first part of the season. We were passing the ball really a lot better. And obviously we've had some injuries and a few things here or there, but
disappointing to where the way we finished. And, we threw for 100 yards, but we got Antonio for about a 40-yard gain, and we miss it. And then we hit him for about a 40-yard gain, and we drop it. We got Brenny that's going to probably go for 40 or 50, and we get hit on the protection. We drop 2 slants. It's probably another 20, 25 yards right there, and that's 250. We're not executing the way we need to, and or we didn't this past week. But we've had up until Notre Dame, we were really doing a pretty good job. And then again, just a lack of production by a few people, and some injuries, and some missed opportunities. So not where we need to be at all.
With North Carolina's defense improving, how much of that has been just adapting to Chizik and his style and their system and stuff?
Probably a lot. Again, new staff, new voice, and again, a bunch of injuries. I mean, heck, they lost, I don't know, about 4 starters, 4 starters on defense, out, and then a couple other guys banged up. And so, just settling in, but they've gotten better. They have gotten better.
Dabo, these past couple of days, it's all been about turning the page, focus on the next, looking at what's ahead. But how do you actually do that, like actively? How do you create that move-on mentality?
I mean, I got a schedule. I got work that's got to be done. I mean, we got Sunday. What you do on Sunday night is once you get done with, you have a routine of processing the game that you just played, and then you get back to work, because you got a lot of work that's got to be done Sunday night. You got a lot of work that's got to be done on Monday and Monday night, and you got to, we get back to work on the game plan. So you can't just sit around and worry about what happened. Again, same thing if you have a big win. You can't be celebrating that. You got a new game, and that's what competitive stamina is all about. It's about a chance to go win again, a chance to go, and that's what you got to love. It's the process of getting ready every week. That's what you have to love to be great. That's what you have to love to be consistent. And that's the common characteristic between all consistent winners. It's not that they never lose or never have a bad day. It's that they're driven by doing what it takes to win again. It's what it takes to go compete on a weekly basis. So, we have a schedule of this is what we do on Sunday. This is what we do on Monday. This is what we do on Tuesday. This is what we do on Wednesday. So there's no time to sit around. I mean, you got to go back to work. So you got to plan your practices. You got your staff planning. You've got your game planning. You get onto the tape of the next opponent. So you don't have any choice. You got recruiting nonstop, so you don't have, just like when the game was over. I mean, we had 180 people at my house Saturday night. You had time to sit around and go hide in the closet and cry. You got to do your job. You go back to work, and so that's it. Just have your routine, and you lean on your routine.
I guess what was that recruiting event like? I mean, it's the first time in a long time you lost to South Carolina and you're having these.
It was great. I mean, certainly wish we'd have won it, but man, you've got a bunch of great people that are excited about their futures and their opportunity to go to college, and great families and things like that. So it was really good. It was a good night.
It seems the consistency at receiver is kind of struggled here as of late. What do you kind of see as the issues?
Just lack of confidence and a lack of details. Just guys really just stepping up. It was unfortunate. I really appreciate Bo trying to go. He really wanted to try to finish, and we were hoping we'd get through the season, then we'd get it fixed, but just wasn't meant to be. But he gave it all he could. So we'll go ahead and probably do surgery on him next week. But just inconsistency and confidence, with some of those guys. But you know, I like where we are. I like the young guys that we got that are coming in. You know, Adam Randall and Antonio and then Cole. You know, we'll get him going now the rest of the way with the remainder of the season. So I think we've got a good group. You know, Bo is a great player, and then, you know, we've just had a couple other guys that have struggled, you know, from a consistency standpoint, and you know, it's unfortunate, but that's where we are.
Oh, he'll get surgery and be done.
Yeah, he'll be done. He'll be done. We gotta fix it, you know, because it just kind of keeps coming out.
With Mickens out first half, secondary, you feel okay health-wise there?
I mean, it's game. What is this? Game 13, week 14. I don't think anybody feels okay. Everybody's banged up. You know, same thing with them. They got guys banged up. So, but you know, we got to find a way. You know, it is what it is. So.
Yeah. With that said, you know, I noticed out there on some of the bigger drives, Sherrod Coble got playing time. Wade Gomez was back out there.
Yeah.
Are you pleased with the way those freshmen
Oh yeah.
have kind of
Yeah.
showed up?
Yeah, I think Woodaz has been incredibly consistent all year. He's going to be a really, really good player. We're really excited about his development. And then Koval, man, he's exactly what you're looking for. But just felt like he had a lot of immaturity, you know, within the program, you know, the first part of the season. But really, probably since probably the Florida State game, he's kind of, I think, made a turn. And he's just kind of really gotten, you know, on a good groove in what he needs to do, and so he's going to be a good one. He's going to be a good player, but yeah, we need him.
I thought in some of the recruiting conversations I had with him, he reminded me a lot of Kayvon Wallace. Can he kind of grow into that leadership player?
Yeah, I think he can be better than Kayvon. I really do. I think he's got some similar traits. He's got a little bit of swag to him. He's got a little bit of that. He's got a little bit of that fire in his belly like Kayvon had, but I think he can be better. I really do. I mean, he's got a lot of work to do. You know, Kayvon really became a great leader. He really became a very mature, committed kid in every area of his life. Koval's not quite there yet. He's still just a freshman. That's not. He just ain't quite figured out yet. You know. Maybe it's not that he's not figured out. Maybe he just ain't quite made his mind up yet that, all right, this is what it's going to take for me to be great on and off the field, and really committed to doing that. But, you know, he's young and he's coming. But he's got a chance to be a really good player. And, yeah, he's got to step up for us this week. And no doubt about it. And he's going to have his hands full. So
at the beginning of the season, you know, at linebacker, wondering who was going to take the place of the Bruce brothers, and all three of those guys are playing at a very high level. Jeremiah's been a beast the last few weeks.
Jeremiah has been awesome, and he is. It's nice to know you got those guys back, man. I mean, he is special. I mean, he really is, and we knew that, and we saw that last year. Just unbelievable instincts, and you know, we were able to, you know, obviously we had Skowski and Balin, but you just saw it. And then this spring, it was like, okay, you know, he kind of separated himself. And then as the season has gone on, he's just really kind of found his swagger. And then Barrett Carter is he's just a pure football player. I mean, he is a beautiful football player. So two guys that have really had great years for us, really great years. Very committed guys, and got a lot of good football ahead for them. And then Trenton, obviously, Trenton is man, he's a special talent.
Did Jalen Phillips end up coming out okay from the game? I think
Yeah, he came. He's just beat up. I mean, he's like the car I had in college. He's just beat up, man. But he's somehow still running. He's just freaking beat up. But he just keeps going. He went back in the game. I thought he was done for the game, and he put himself back in. I mean, he's just – as I said, man, you can't go. He said, Coach, I have to go. And I was like, well, all right, we'll see how it goes. And, you know, he somehow finished. So he's just beat up. But he'll find a way to be ready Saturday night. That's for sure. He's a great kid, man. I love JP. He's a great leader. I think he's a captain for us this week. So excited about that for him.
As you said on your radio show that Jordan McFadden's been playing with an injury for 5.
Yeah, he's been hurt. I mean, he's for probably at least the last 4 weeks. He hadn't practiced on Monday, Tuesday. He's just been practicing Wednesday, Thursday, and but you'd never know it. I mean, he's a player, man. He's a great player, and only senior we got. So got a bright future with that group. That group has gotten. I'm really pleased with our line. That's been a real bright spot for us. I mean, we're in a good spot right there, and I like the young guys that we have. Those guys are coming. Mitchell wasn't perfect the other day, but it's been good to see him, get in there and do some good things. And, he's just a redshirt sophomore. Really excited about Sadler and Pennington. Those guys are heading in the right direction. Same thing with Howard and Linthicum. Tristan has had ain't seen him much, but he's made another step as a redshirt freshman. So, but I think we've been okay there. Been pretty good.
I guess you don't want to say it's lower body and body here
Who's that?
with Jordan, what it actually is.
Yeah, he just beat up. Yeah. If I say it's his finger, somebody going to grab his finger in the bottom of a pile or something. If I say it's his elbow, somebody going to kick him in the elbow. So he's just beat up.
Dabo, the lack of passing game execution you alluded to, what are the little things you would like to see cleaned up to maybe get that improved this week?
Well, catch the ball. That's number one. We missed a couple throws. A big one to Antonio, wide open, and we miss it. Then you make the perfect throw, and we drop it. And those are plays that we made. And then, we had the one protection. So you just got to put it together. I mean, Hugh, if you know what you're looking at, we got to play to Brenny that's probably going to go 40 to 50 yards. Maybe score if he breaks one tackle. And he's getting ready to throw the ball on time, and Blake kind of opened up, turned the corner, and the guy hits him, and we don't cut the linebacker properly, and next thing you know, he's hit. And it's a play that never happens, right? So just we've got to capitalize, and we don't have that type of room for error right now. And so we got to capitalize on just the layups, the plays that are there. We got to do anything spectacular. We got to make the plays that are there. And we dropped 2 slants or first downs that are critical, and again, then we missed a couple plays, but we had 5 drops in the game. So you look up and you go, well, okay, that's where you are. So again, we had a lot of indicators for winning in that game. We hit just about every indicator that usually says we win, but we didn't win. So it's one of those outliers, and so it's pretty easy to evaluate why we didn't win. Turnovers, missed plays, big plays, poor red zone defense. It's really simple.
Dabo, with the amount of young coaches around, a couple years ago when Matt Brown slides out of the TV booth and into the coaching realm again, did you genuinely think he'd be able to slide in and turn a program this quickly, or did you not?
Absolutely. He's Mac Brown. What in his history says he wouldn't be successful? There's nothing in his background that says he wouldn't be successful. He's been successful his entire life. All right, maybe he's had a window here or there where it's been better than others at other times, but he was very successful at North Carolina the first time. He's national championship coach at Texas, had a great run there. There's nothing that would make you say, yeah, that's not going to work. He's a good coach, and he's a great person, and he's can recruit and organize and lead. That's what it takes. And there's nothing in his background that says that to me that would make you think that's not going to work. So he's done a great job. He's done a really, really good job. And is this 3 or 4? What year is this? Is this his 3rd year or 4th year? 4th year? 5th year? I don't even know. We played him in 19. Was that the first year? So there you go. 19, 20, 22. So fourth year. Hey, he's done a great job. Guy had two great quarterbacks roll through there with Ohio, and he's glad he's gone. Now you look up and hear this guy. But I knew Drake. We recruited Drake, so great kid, great family. Tar Heel family, and you just he loves it and he bleeds it, and he'll be a tough out.
I'm sure the ball security issues are certainly not for lack of emphasis in practice.
Yep.
What more can you do? And is this just something that pops up like with Maffa? It wasn't even jarred loose. The guy was on his legs and it just comes
Yeah, the
out.
ball's just out. Yeah, I mean it's not, but the ball's out.
Right.
I mean you just have to point out, and every day the ball and track the ball, what we call BIJs, balls in jeopardy, and just track it and in your film, and that's football though, y'all. I mean it's crazy, I mean. Maybe we could say, all right, we're going to start with your pinky toe. We'll cut it off next fumble and just kind of go from there. And, short of that, I don't know what else. That might be a little extreme. What do you think? It's just your pinky. Little piggy. We'll just start right there and see if we can get it stopped.
Did you think you guys were close to getting Drake?
I think we were definitely in it with him. Yeah, I think he really liked it. Like I said, great family. I think we were definitely in it with him. We recruited his brother hard too, for basketball. So I think we were in it, but I'm pretty sure he was going to North Carolina all along. But he at least talked to us.
Dabo, some Tennessee fans took exception to your comment on the radio show a couple weeks ago where you said something about them flipping burgers and maybe not focused on. And now there's a movement afoot apparently to send you spatulas. Have you received?
I have not, but I did hear that. But that's just a classic example of people just hear what they want to hear. And I actually was paying them a compliment. I was really more challenging our guys in that we were talking. I don't even know what it was. We were talking about finishing and how hard it is to win. And you're sitting there and you forget this. And I'm talking about our guys. Like you say, okay, well, man, you've got a path that's clear. But you have to finish. And I just made the point. I mean, with the team we're getting ready to play, I mean, this team is, okay, they just got to do this and do that. Then next week, they just can sit at home and flip burgers and watch all the championship games they're in, right? But you got to finish. And it's not anything against Tennessee, man. I got all the respect in the world for Tennessee. People just hear what they want to hear, whatever. I'm so sure. There's not a shot at them at all. It just was what had just happened. And was talking about our guys and how we've got to finish, and the path is clear and so forth. But again, that just comes with the territory. Doesn't matter what you say. People hear what they want to hear and take what they want to take and create whatever narrative they want. That's my world.
What's it like to have? I saw Tony Dungy walking out Saturday. What's it like to kind of have a player or a coach of his caliber visit and
yeah, Tony's a good friend. I mean, he's one of my mentors and one of the people that I respect most in life. And he just reached out and wanted to come to the game, so I was glad he was able to come and bring his son with him. But he's just a special person, and again, somebody that I really have always admired and was a mentor to mine before I even knew him. So it's good to, forge that relationship with him over the last several years.
I know you've spoken out that you kind of favored divisional play, but now that it's going to change, what do you see as the pros and cons next season?
I mean, again, yeah, I've always kind of said, hey, let's have the division. I just think it's good, but we've been there, done that too in 20. When they just said one league and all that. We had 15 teams that year, but the way it's all going, I mean, it's not really worth offering an opinion on it right now anyway, because it's all going to change. 5 years from now, we got a different conversation. So it is what it is, So I mean, whatever we did, all I'm focused on is trying to win consistently, so that we can have a shot. And that's the key. If you're not a consistent winner, you're not gonna you're not going to last. So that's what I focus on, whether it's a division or just one league or whatever. We just got to win the game we're playing. And then you look up at the end of the year and you say, okay, you count it all up and say, all right, how did we do? And you're either good enough or you're not. And 7 out of the last 8 years, we've been good enough to get there. And so we're thankful to have that opportunity this year. And obviously wish we were 12-0, but whether you're 12-0 or 10-2, it don't matter. You got to go. It's these 4 quarters. Doesn't matter. You still got to win this game. You don't get any bonus points.
Do you like the fact that it can ensure that the top 2 teams in the league?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why they're doing it. And I mean, everybody gets that. It's more. I think it's more aligned to what's coming in college football. That's what it's all about. But that's going to change too. I mean, when this thing does go to 12 teams or whatever it's going to, I mean, some of these championship games are going to be irrelevant. They're going to be a lot of these teams that you're not even going to play your best players. Because you're going to be in. It's going to be all about the playoff. And if you're in, regardless of what happens, I mean, it's similar to the NFL. It's not going to be as important in a lot of ways. So that eventually will come, but we're not there yet. Probably got another year or 2 before that happens. So, but definitely, gives you the best chance to, from a TV. That's TV wanting it to get the whoever the 2 best teams are, and you see that in some of these leagues around where they've got a lot of really great teams, and you can't predict that. I think when they probably put this, I don't know this, but when they probably put this league together, I'm sure in the beginning it was like, okay, let's set it up for Florida State and Miami, right? Because that's, Clemson at the time was not, we were just a solid team, right? And just didn't work out that way. But you don't ever know who's going to become great and who's going to, you change up the divisions, you start chasing that. Well, as soon as you do that, then this team gets good. And so I think it just kind of eliminates that and to where you can get the 2 best teams. Because like I said, unlike the way it is now, in years past, so you think back 12, 13, and 14, we were pretty good. But we didn't get to play for the championship, right? And because we lost to Florida State. And, whatever, in those years. I think we beat them somewhere in there, but we didn't win the division, right? And so we didn't get to go to Charlotte, but we were probably the 2nd best team. And so, TV wants a better matchup, and then from a league standpoint, again, where it's going, you get more of an opportunity to maybe get, a couple teams in there and that type of stuff. So, again, you look around and you got some of the league championships, the next best team's not playing in the game, but that's the way the structure is right now, and in our league. And I don't know if other leagues are heading that way, but again, it's probably not going to matter at all in a couple of years anyway.
Any questions for Coach from Zoom? Anybody else in the room?
Hey, Dabo.
Go ahead, Anna.
This is Anna. It seems like Drake May is often most dangerous when he's throwing on the run. How do you limit that from happening? And then if it does happen, what is critical for the linebackers and secondary so that, something doesn't hit downfield?
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to be multiple with him, first of all. You got to change your pitches up. But I think the biggest thing is you got to be very disciplined with your rush lanes. He's just very savvy in the pocket, and he'll step up, he'll slide, he'll spin out. You've seen him do all those things on tape. He is a very good thrower on the run. He made some throws going to his left, turning back, throwing across, same thing to the right. He's a very creative player, and he's a very confident and poised player. He's just very poised. So you got to try to keep him in the pocket the best you can. And so the number one thing you got to do is you got to win your matchup up front, but you got to have good rush lane integrity. And then you've got to be able to, if he especially if you're playing some man coverage, because he recognizes those things, and he will find a lane on. I mean, he's their leading rusher. So he'll find a lane on you in a heartbeat and make you pay. So, and when you're playing zone, you've got to really do a good job with your eyes, and getting to him if he does break contain somehow. So easier said than done. That's why he's a great player.
RJ had some pretty impactful plays on Saturday for the targeting call. Does anything change this week in terms of game prep or game plan, considering you can only play half the game on Saturday?
Not really. I mean, it's next man up situation, but you're aware of who's in the game, from your personnel standpoint. But RJ has really had a good year for us. I mean, he's taken a big step for us. He's become a very consistent player. He's very instinctive, very savvy, and really excited about just where he is in his development right now. He's in a good place. So we're gonna miss him for sure for the first half, but we've got to just make sure that who's in there is comfortable and ready to go. Makuba and JP have played a lot of football, so they should be fine.
The transfer portal will open, I guess, in less than a week now. When you assess your roster, are there any positions that you feel like you might need to try to help address through the portal?
Who knows? We'll see what happens. I mean, we're no different than anybody else. I think everybody's susceptible to transition, but as I sit here right now, I don't know. We'll see. We love our signing class. We think we've addressed our needs based on what we know right now. But again, who knows what's coming down the pipe? Nobody knows that. So it's a real time world every single day where we are right now in college football.
Yeah, but I think on the broadcast they said that there was some DBs kind of arguing and frustrating stuff. Did you hear anything about that, or is that just part of?
For us?
Yes, sir.
No, I didn't. I don't. I mean, they probably were, but I didn't hear that. But we had some critical mistakes, and everybody wants to win, and when you have one guy in football not do his job properly, and it affects everybody, it leads to some frustration. But that's just part of it. But I didn't. First I've heard of that.
Dabo, that trip to Chapel Hill back in 2019, pretty gutsy win for you guys, stopping the 2-point conversion. Anything that sticks out about that game?
Yeah, it was just a funky day. Couldn't quite get out of our way. A bunch of missed opportunities. Had some critical drops in that game as well. They had a couple big plays on us, but just a hard-fought game, and the stop at the end was epic. It's a great win for us.